The first full moon of 2024, the wolf moon. And in this video, we are going to look at how we can use and harness these energies to move ourselves forward. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, and welcome to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so jumping straight in, the full moon, those real powerful energies of releasing. And with the transition that we had in Venus on Tuesday, 23rd, then we've got a lot of powerful energy with us, available to us, that we can actually tap into, that we're encouraged to tap into via the cosmos, via the universe, via divine, whatever, via God, whatever your belief systems are, to to just shift out what keeps us heavy, what stops us, what slows us down and stops us from really being our true authentic selves. It's taking out what no longer serves, so that we have and make room for what's to come in for us. Now, the wolf moon, obviously, wolf in Native American, like most animals, they have significance, and it brings a certain medicine. I have a wolf totem animal. I also use the wolf in another way that spirit wants me to keep private. This is the second doing of this video, because it just stopped me in my tracks, and it was like, no, Claire. So so I'm not privy to share that bit at this time. The wolf is loyal. The wolf embodies strength. The wolf embodies community. The wolf is a leader. And these are all qualities that we can embody, we can embrace. But the wolf is also able to navigate the shadows. In Druid lore, the wolf is the keeper of those shadows, and it can navigate, it can sniff them out, it can sniff those hidden elements within us that are not really functioning, our shadow elements. They don't function for us, they don't serve us. They may have in the past, but they're not serving us now. They're just holding us back, they're holding us down, they're making us heavy, they're slowing us down. And so to have a full moon, which is all about release, and then for it to be a wolf moon, so we're bringing in the energies and the qualities of the wolf spirit, and taking the time, being at the end of Samhain, Yule, however you like to. I like to use the 4 main seasons, although we have the 8, to really dig deep, to really allow what needs to be released. I was given the image of the wolf sniffing out in the shadows, sniffing out what no longer needs to be there, sniffing out and devouring. That's the vision, and I know that sounds really quite rare, but that was the vision I was given, and that is how we can actually use these energies. We can transmute what no longer serves us. We can transmute those heavier energies within us, and because of the Venus transit, I'm drawn to focus on the emotional body. And when I talk about the emotional body, I'm talking about those incidences, those hurts, those slights, those pains, those traumas, even for some people, that we play out in our mind, that spinning plate scenario where we go over and over and over and over and over. And what it actually does is it only serves to bring our vibrations down. It brings our energies down. It makes us heavy. It makes us slow. And I'm of a certain age where vinyl was what I grew up with when it comes to music. So I always think of that spinning record. We spin that record and it's the needle's stuck and it goes over and over and over and over again. And you need to lift the needle for it to continue, because there's a scratch there. There's a anomaly there that is holding you back. On vinyl, it's a scratch. It's holding the needle from being able to go around on the next line. And what I was actually shown, the visualization that I got with that, was to just take the record up, throw it out. And for those of you that are younger that cannot align with the analogy of a record, on your phone, you have a tune that is just playing over and over and over and over and over again. And because you've played it, the algorithms now think that you love it. And so it shows up. You hear it everywhere you go. You walk into a shop, it's playing. You walk into a restaurant, it's playing. You walk into, and it's your responsibility to delete it. It's your responsibility that when you hear it, to walk out of that shop or walk out of that restaurant. Do not attune to it. Do not allow yourself to be taken back to that memory, that dysfunctional memory that is causing you to slow down, that is causing you to drop your frequencies. Now, there's lots of ways and lots of healing modalities that we can actually use, but intention is the biggest key of functionality when we're actually doing this work. We set that intention that we deserve better. We do not need these things in our life anymore. We do not need these memories. And when I'm talking about memories, it doesn't wipe the memory. What it actually does is it takes the emotion, that emotional reaction that it triggers. That's what we need to dig up. Those are the roots. It doesn't mean that we forget. It means that we take the sting out of the tail. We remove the emotional weeds, as it were, that grow and fester and get bigger and just make life more difficult and makes life heavy. It makes us feel like we're trudging through treacle. So when we're doing the healing modalities, we're looking for the root cause. Affirmations are really, really good. And they can make you feel better. Exercise is really, really good. And it can, anything that we actually do to divert our focus is good, in the fact that it's diverting our focus and we're teaching the body, actually, no, we don't need to go there. So mentally, it's really, really good to use the modalities where it diverts your focus. But, and I've said this many, many times, and few like it because it is more difficult and it takes a lot more work. And it means that you have to go to the dark places that you don't want to go because they're dark. You have to, if you want to release these fully, completely, you have to pull up the roots. Now, you don't have to go down the rabbit hole and sit there for days, for weeks, for months, for years, sometimes even for people. What you actually do is you use a modality that resonates deeply with you. And you go in and you find the root and you pull it out and you transmute it. Now, very often, 90% of the time, we can actually do this ourselves if we are prepared to do the work and if we have allowed ourselves to attune to our higher selves and understand our energetic body and the signals that our energetic and physical body give us as the messages. If we're listening to those messages, other times you will need a practitioner who will help you stay on track. They're not actually doing the work. You do the work. All healing, all energy healing comes from you. But sometimes we need a practitioner to keep us on track, to stop us deviating, finding a different, because the mind is very, very powerful. It's sending us in another direction because it doesn't want to go down there, because it knows what's down there. Even if consciously you have no idea what's down there, your higher self knows what's down there. Your ego knows what's down there. And your higher self will say, right, okay, we need to go down here. And your ego is going, no, 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 I don't want to go down there. I know what's down there and I don't like it. And so you've got this internal battle, and that's where a practitioner comes in handy, is because they will help you stay on track. They will help you. They won't force you. They won't take over, but they will help to keep you aligned. They will channel energy to give you that extra strength. But with this full moon, that energy is available to each and every one of us. That strength, because it's a full moon. It's a wolf full moon in Leo. So you've got the strength of Leo as well. So you're getting a double whammy of really powerful energy, plus all the other astrological events that are going on and have gone on in the past weeks and in the coming weeks. So we've got really, really powerful energy to really heal, to really release what doesn't function for us, what is holding us back. And I implore all of you to tap into it. Allow the wolf in you, your wolf. You're not bringing in entities from anywhere else. You're tapping into the energy so that you can invoke the wolf in you to sniff out what is rancid within your energetic and psychic fields, and to rip it out, tear it out, release it, transmute it with love. Now, when I'm doing any kind of energy work like this, I always surround myself with a violet flame. I use the violet flame. Other people use pure white light. I always use the violet flame from Saint Germain. And what I actually do is I encircle myself so I don't spill whatever I'm releasing out into the universe. I want it transmuted. I want to create a container so that whatever yuck comes out of me gets burnt off, gets transmuted back to love instantly. And so I create a circle of the violet flame. I embrace myself. I sit in the center of a circle of the violet flame. And so as those energies are released and I push them away from me, I push them into the violet flame. Tune into yourself. There are many, many methods. There are many, many things that you can actually do. But we're not, when I'm talking about using the energies of the full moon, I'm not talking about bringing in other entities. You need to be using a lot of skill and practice to bring in different entities. There's a lot of protection work that needs to be done when you're bringing in things from outside of yourself. What I'm talking about is using the energies that are universally available to each and every one of us to invoke what's within us, what's already within us, whether we know it or not. Each of us has a wolf within us. invoke that wolf. Have them sniff out those rancid, expired, dysfunctional emotions from things that have occurred in your life. And it could, even if you're a practiced practitioner, if you've practiced in spirituality, it could be that what's still remaining in you is not even from experiences of this lifetime. It could be past lifetime. It could even be ancestors, not yours, that you are carrying within your DNA. But have the wolf sniff it out. It no longer needs to be there. It no longer needs to be part of your life. You deserve better. Set that intention. Know that. You deserve better. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be happy, to be joyful, to be harmonious. And when you can actually do that for yourself, what you actually do is you give permission to other people to do that. Because other people will go, wow, okay, what's going on there? I want some of that. And it comes up in conversation. It doesn't have to be a conversation about spirituality. It can be a conversation of like, oh yeah, I did some healing. I got rid of emotions that I didn't need. Introduce people slowly. Don't go straight in as I used to. Oh yeah, spiritual. They kind of, you see them pulling back, especially if that's not part of their world. As you keep stepping forward on this pathway, those spiritual communities become part of your world, so it's not so bad. But when you're first starting out, I would actually I don't want you to not be authentic. I'm not saying don't be authentic, but also be mindful that others have different beliefs. Be mindful that others are in different places and spaces and have different fears. And so there are ways in which to impart what you actually did. One of them is finding and exploring and learning the science of energy, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. That's a really good way of introducing people onto the spiritual pathway, because the science is there now. When I first started out, when I was a young girl, it wasn't there. When I first started out, there was very little. You know, when I first consciously allowed myself to open up, there was very little. But now it's massive. Now there is so much investment into understanding the cosmos and how, and our connectedness to it through quantum mechanics. Learn a little bit about that. It helps you explain it, which means you're then passing it on. You are being of service to your community. You are opening them up. Now, what they do with it, you don't get any attachment to, but it's there. It's there. The big message that was coming through was do the healing, spend the time, use these last, what we're looking at, 8 days, use this last week of the shadow of the Samhain to do that deep introspection, and within that deep introspection clear out what no longer needed, clear out the dysfunctional emotions. Letter writing is brilliant. Letter writing down what you weren't able to say at the time. If you feel that there's an angst that you need to express, you don't have to express it with the person. You can write it down. Another way is to express it with that person, but you express it to their higher selves, but not as a, you did this to me. It's this was how I perceived this situation. And then these are the emotions that I have carried, and I forgive you. And I forgive myself for having that perception in the first place. There are lots and lots of, we need to It's not about blame. It's not about judgment. It's about forgiveness. It's about speaking to the higher self, because 9 times out of 10, even your worst adversary, when they have said something or done something that has deeply hurt you or to deeply hurt you, it's because of the pain that they're carrying. It's a projection of their own imbalance, their own torments, their own shadow. And when we're able to step away from it being personal, that's when the real alchemy starts. That's when the real transformation starts. That's when you almost become untouchable. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way, but energetically, your vibrations rise to such a level that it doesn't have the impact. You may have a little, why did they do that? Why did they say that? That to get away from that, we're talking guru level, but it doesn't have the impact, the desired impact to bring your energy levels down so that they feel equal to, doesn't happen. And people don't really know that this is what's going on. They don't intentionally go, I'm going to hurt that person and bring their energies down so that they're at the same level as me. They don't consciously have any idea of this. They're just feeling yucky, and their experiences of life, this life, make them feel yucky. And so they have learnt habits to release that. And unfortunately, that usually gets released and spilled over. And that is why when you're doing any healing, it's important to have that container. Put yourself in a container so that you don't spill out anything that you're releasing. You're not just spilling it out and releasing it by giving it to somebody else to carry. You're releasing it and transmuting it with love. Now, I was drawn to pull a card, and the card that came out, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was the Serenes. Use your voice, expansion, and freedom. And I think it's very apt. You can see that there. Beautiful, beautiful graphics. But if you look, you can very faintly see the shells and the connection, the deep, deep, deep connection to the natural world, to the cosmos. And I'm going to read from this, because interpreting it in my own way just won't give it the justice. So in Greek mythology, the Serenes were half women, half bird sea creatures that would entice fishermen and soldiers and sailors, even soldiers and sailors, with their sweet and sensual song. Free and empowered, they were not afraid to share their voice and use their natural gifts to attract what they wanted. This card is an invitation to own your gifts, to share your voice, and to surrender to the most expanded version of who you are. To give yourself to the music that plays within. To share your song without wavering. To be free and to dance unrestrained. In life, there is the opportunity to become more and more alive and free with each day. Let me read that again. In life, there is the opportunity to become more and more alive and free with each passing day. However, most of us feel more and more trapped by the life that we've so consciously created. What do you need to do to embrace life fully? How can you step into your most expansive self? Often while we're growing up, we experience hurt, losses, and endings that we fail to address. Those memories stagnate within us, and it becomes harder to dance and sing. However, every moment of your life is an opportunity to change, to thrive, and grow. Every moment is an opportunity to express yourself, to find your natural, unique way to dance and sing. So the soul inquiry that they actually put here is, how are you being called to share your voice and expand into your most alive, empowered self? And very often when you're starting out on the journey, those types of deep inquiring, questioning of your soul self, of your soul desires, eludes us. And that is why healing is very powerful. Now, the cycles of the moon are part of the natural cycles of the cosmos, of the universe. They bring those energies in, and I implore each and every one of you, I encourage each and every one of you to really start aligning with the natural cycles. When you do, so much magic comes forward, so many whispers from divine, from spirit come forward. I am fortunate that I have opened my gift of mediumship. That is granted. But if we allow, each and every one of us, we allow ourselves to listen to the natural world, we can all hear the whispers. We can all innately understand the directions in which it is urging us to take. We just need to allow ourselves the privilege, give ourselves the privilege, love ourselves enough to know that we deserve the privilege to listen to the natural states of the cosmos, to listen to nature, to listen to the messages they are trying to send us. It's all part of the intuition. It's all part of expanding that intuition within you. If you think of a natural disaster when it's going to happen, animals you never see, a tsunami, for example, you see cars, houses, people being taken out to sea. You never see the animals. Some domestic, granted, because we have domesticated them. We have implanted in their minds and removed their innate instincts. And this is what we need to get back to. This is what intuition is. It's our innate instincts living cohesively and in alignment with the natural cycles of the universe, with the natural cycles of our planet. I'll leave it there. For anybody that would like to work with me, then the links are in the description box below. I am running a new course. I'm starting a new course in March. I'm running a free webinar to find out about that. I will put the link of that in the description box below. That is a year-long program of self-empowerment and spiritual connection to really move you forward, really get you aligning with the natural elements and your natural innate soul sovereignty. So I'll leave the links in below. If you've liked the video, give a thumbs up. If you feel inclined, share it with your friends. If you've not yet subscribed, hit that bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.